All right, we are ready to look at our practice problems from this lesson about circumference and diameter. So here we go. This is Diego, and he measured the diameter and circumference of several circular objects. He recorded his measurements. One of his measurements is inaccurate. Which measurement is it? And explain how you know. So here's what I'm going to do. I know that pi, the value of pi, is approximately 3. It's a little more than 3, but it's close to 3. And I also know that to get to circumference, I'm going to do pi times diameter. So if this is the diameter, I would do roughly times 3. Now we know it's a little more than 3, but roughly times 3. So that's pretty close. That one I'm not sure. Well, 8 times 3 is 24, so that's a little more. That's pretty close. 15 times 3 is 45. That's pretty close. So this is the one that does not belong, because 23 times 3 is not even close to 28. Now, the reason we're not looking for exacts here is because pi is approximately 3.14 or approximately 22 over 7, and it's a little more than 3, so we would want, like 3 times 3 is 9, we'd want this to be more than 9, which it is, but not like crazy more, not 900 or something like that. Okay, so we're going to complete a table, and we're going to use, it's number 2, we're going to use one of the approximate values of pi discussed in class, so we could use one of these. We didn't talk about this, but that's just more digits of pi. And explain or show your reasoning. So, here's my table. Let's see, there's different objects, fun stuff, pawns, magnifying glass. Okay, and the circumference we know is, here's the diameter, pi times diameter. I feel like 35 and 7 work pretty well together. So I'm going to use 22 over 7 for that one. Just because I feel like those work well together, they're compatible. So I've got my calculator here, my Desmos, that's my favorite online. So I'm going to do 35 times 22 over 7. That gives me 110. Now if I used 3.14, see, super close. So we're talking about approximately 110 here. I try to think about compatible numbers when I'm doing math. So 556, I'm not sure if that works well with 22 over 7. I think what I'm going to do, in order to go from circumference to diameter, thinking about this like an equation, I'm going to need to divide by pi. So I think I'll divide by 3.14 and just kind of see what happens. So I'm doing 556 divided by 3.14. Okay, that's kind of messy. Let's look as a fraction. Don't love that either. Let's see what happens if I do just divided by 22 over 7. Still not great, but let's leave it with approximately 177, because we don't have to be exact here. We're just going to get really close to the exact answer. So I'm going to say approximately 177. Now, if I were grading these in class, or if I were grading them in class, then I would know I'm looking for something really close. If these were on a test, it would tell you which value of pi to use. That way you would get an exact answer. This is just practice, so it's not telling you the exact answer. And that's okay. We just have to think about, imagine that, thinking about your math. That's what you should be doing. So here, this is a decimal. It kind of makes me want to use 3.14. So we'll try that out on Desmos. 5.2 times 3.14. That looks pretty good. Let's just try the 22 over 7. I mean, I can see these are very similar. I'm just going to say 16. I'm going to round to the whole number on these. Nothing's telling me to do that. I'm just kind of making a choice about it. Now here, again, I'm given the circumference. So if I have to times pi to get the circumference when given the diameter, I'm going backwards, I would divide by pi or use an equation. So 71.6, all right, 71.6 divided by 3.14, or 71.6 divided by 22 over 7. Both of these are roughly 23 when I round, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that at 23. Now notice all of my units are just linear units. None of them are squared because diameter is a distance and circumference is the distance around. So we're talking about a distance, just a length, so it's just the unit. If you're talking about area, that's when you get squared units. Okay. Name a segment that's a radius. So look here, radius, I'm just going to kind of pretend these are perfect circles. All right, this is a radius, and then a diameter goes all the way through. They both go through the center, but the radius is half and the diameter is all the way through. So any of these could be radii, which is the plural of radius. So line segment CA, line segment EA, line segment GA, line segment BA, line segment DA. So any of those, those are the radii. You could also have it backwards, like AC, AE, AG, AD, AB. And how long is it? Well, it's half of the 15, so 7.5 centimeters, or 7.5 centimeters, whichever way you prefer. A segment that is a diameter, so I'll use my highlighter here. That's going to be segment CD. All right, almost done. Decide if the pairs could be reasonable approximations for the diameter and circumference. So remember, the circumference is roughly 3 times the diameter. Okay, it's actually a little more than that. Okay, so 5 times 3 is 15. That's going to be too much. Okay, too much. Too much. Okay, 19 is real close to 20. 20 times 3 is 60. That's reasonable. Okay. 33 times 3 is 99. So that's too little. So that's not reasonable, not reasonable. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to talk to your teachers about these. And thank you for watching.